Hi, I'm Lacey Rodriguez, and I'm here to review another silk top topper for you guys. This one is from the company Lusta Hair out of Australia, and this is the color Stilettos not included. It's a really beautiful medium brown. I'm really excited to share this because this is a brand I've been wanting to try for a really long time, and they were gracious and gifted me this piece so I could try it and recommend it, which I do. Let's break it down and start with the cap construction. So I've tried lots of different silk tops from different companies, and I will say for the most part, they're basically identical in the way that they're constructed. They have like this one is an 8x8, so it's 8 inches both ways. It comes with a comb in the front. This one's a pretty long one, and it's not sewn down on the sides. Sometimes they are, and it keeps them a little bit more secure. This one's not, so it kind of lifts up when you pull on it. This one comes with 6 clips, and it's got like this 4x4 inch area, which is where you can part it anywhere within that area, and it'll look very realistic. So you can see like this scalp is super realistic. And then the rest of this is just some stretchy wefting, which is where the hair is sewn on in strips like this. This is the wefting, so the hair's sewn on facing downwards. Lusta has different cap sizes. They have 7x7s and also 9x9s in addition to the 8x8s. So this one is a really good kind of an average size. I would say it works really well for a lot of different people. It gives really great coverage, and because it's larger, the clips are clipping in pretty low, kind of just like an inch or two above your ears, which is great because it really keeps a lot of the pressure off the clips on top and having to clip into like really thin areas, which sometimes can cause traction alopecia. So this is a really comfortable cap. And this stretchy wefting really makes it mold to your head and kind of take on that shape. One of the biggest benefits to these larger cap sizes is how comfortable they are. And that's because you're clipping in lower, kind of a couple inches above your ears, where most of us have more hair instead of having to clip into these fragile areas up here. So it makes it really comfortable. It really distributes the weight, because if you think about it, your head is carrying most of the weight. The clips are just stabilizing the topper so that it's not shifting too much, but they're not really holding all the weight, as in like clip-in extensions where you're clipping them in and gravity is pulling on them. This is a whole different scenario. Silk tops are great for people who just kind of don't want to fuss, and they're really easy to blend with your bio hair, and they have that really realistic scalp, which again is it's so important, especially when you're first jumping into toppers. We're very hyper aware of what the cap looks like from the top. Like I'm 5'2", so people are constantly looking at the top of my head, and that's a reason why you might want to go for a silk top, is just to ease your mind that nobody is going to know that's a topper. Nobody. It looks like it's growing straight out of your head. While the cap construction is very similar to a lot of other silk tops, there are a few things that are unique to Lusta. This one, they have got some incredible baby hairs. Like, I don't know if you can see these. I did not cut these. They came like this, and they look very, very natural. They're different lengths. The hair even feels a little bit finer, possibly. I'm not exactly sure what their process is for these. Sometimes people sew them in separately. Sometimes they just cut them. But either way, I love that they're all different lengths. It's just so much more natural than having like one length here in the front, where we naturally have baby hairs. So when I combine my baby hairs with these baby hairs, that hairline is flawless. So if I take this comb and I start pulling out my own baby hairs, you can kind of see that it's easy to mix those in, especially if you don't have a lot of hair in the front. If your hairline is really thinning and you don't have a lot of baby hairs to kind of mesh in with the front of your topper, it's really nice when the topper comes with those already. It just gives it a more realistic hairline. So kind of transitioning into talking about the hair itself, Lusta Hair is a luxury brand. So this hair is really like the cream of the crop. And I wasn't so sure if I believed it. I know that I was told by Kim, who's the owner, that their pieces are priced higher because of the quality of hair. And I've tried a lot of silk tops. I felt like the hair was really incredible, so I kind of doubted that she could beat that, but she really did. This hair is amazing. And I've washed it a couple of times and it's just still so silky soft. So silky. And it doesn't tangle. It doesn't feel dry. It just feels very like the healthiest possible hair you could ever imagine. And it dries super straight and silky. There's no frizz whatsoever. So I feel like this hair quality really is, again, time will tell, because hair quality really translates into longevity more than anything. And if you have a lower quality topper, it might only last you 6 months. Something like this, I would expect to last at least probably 3+ years is my guess. Time will tell, because I've only had this piece for about 6 months, but it's just the way it wears and the way it washes up is so nice that I can absolutely tell it's going to last a long time. And again, maybe in 3 years, I'll update you and tell you how well it's lasted, but it's worth the price if it's going to last that much longer. If you're looking for something super luxurious and hair that is just very sleek and straight and healthy and shiny, and it's going to last a long time, this is your piece. I promise you. It's so silky and just like incredible to me. The way it doesn't tangle, it just shows that's really has a lot to do with the health of the hair, which translates to the grade of the hair, which also translates to price. The color that they sent me, I was a little iffy on. In fact, when I pulled it out, I was like, I don't know if I love this color. I'm just being totally honest. In fact, I kind of had planned to color it myself, or my stylist color it, but I don't know. The color is actually pretty spot on with what my natural hair color is. And I love the way it really is seamless. And I've been able to wear lots of different colors of toppers, but this one is such a seamless color match. I mean, like, this is my hair and this is the topper. Like, you just cannot tell. And I don't know, the color really grew on me because I ended up not coloring it at all. I actually really loved it. So it's a very natural color. The cool thing about Lusta's colors is they have a lot of really beautiful dimensional colors. When color matching a topper to your bio hair, it's really important, in my opinion, to, if you can, get something dimensional. And what I mean by that is that there's a variation of color. It's not just one solid color. Solid colors don't always look as natural as variations in color because it's natural for when you're out in the sun is naturally going to oxidize some of your hair. It's going to make some of it warmer. It's going to give you highlights. That's actually a natural process. So if you have something that's just one solid color, not only does it look a little less natural for the most part, it's also harder to color match because you might see a definite line between your hair, your bio hair, and your topper hair. If you have something more dimensional, you're bound to catch your bio hair color within that variation, and it just makes color matching seamless. Another benefit that Lusta has is that they have a lot of stock. So they're a large company and they almost always have a lot of pieces in stock. So it's really nice to be able to go to their website and almost always find a color that will probably work for you. Whereas I know a lot of other smaller boutiques, they sell out of their pieces constantly. And so you're kind of having to like watch like a hawk until something can come into stock that you can grab. It's really nice that this company has a lot of stock, so you have lots of colors to pick from. They have variations with balayage. They've got really beautiful modern colors. And like I said, dimensional colors. They've got smudge roots, just really beautiful ashy blondes, things that are sometimes harder to find in the topper world. Lusta Hair's customer service is phenomenal. So that's another really important thing in companies. And I'm always trying to work with companies that have really great customer service because it's important to me. If you're going to spend this much money on a piece, you really need some help from the company to know exactly what you're going to need, exactly how to take care of it, how to wear it, all those things. And Lusta Hair has really awesome customer service. In fact, this is one of the original brands I really wanted to try because I learned so much from Kim on Instagram, just like about traction alopecia and why larger caps are important and how to care for them, how to wear them, how to blend them. I mean, they've so much educational content that it's phenomenal to be able to work with a company like that. And Kim, like, she is such a peach. You have to watch her on Instagram. You'll fall in love with her. She's adorable. She has hair loss, so she created this company because she had hair loss, and it's always nice. It feels comforting to know when you're in good hands because they know what you've been through, right? So Lusta Hair does complimentary consultations. They can help you pick the right color. They do a lot of customizations, like add-on services. So if you're worried about your color, you can talk to them and they can give you a custom color. I mean, these are additional costs, of course, but they can do a custom color. They can do like a cut for you. They have lots of different add-ons. So that's another super nice feature and benefit to going with them, is that you can get a lot of the customization and stuff done in one stop. And then when it comes to price, I kind of already touched on this when I talked about the quality of hair, but prices are going up across the board if you haven't noticed yet. This isn't the only company whose prices jumped with COVID, and this is a whole other topic, but we all know that COVID has messed with absolutely everything in society. One of those is manufacturing, and so costs have gone up across the board. Now, when costs go up, companies have to make hard decisions. Where can they either up their prices or they somehow sacrifice something to make up the cost. And while talking to Kim about all of this, because I'm always very interested in how companies can justify pricing, because these are so expensive. Hair pieces are so expensive, and you want to feel good about what you're paying for, and you're not just like paying for a name. I really, truly don't believe that with Lusta. She talked to me about a lot of companies had to downgrade in their quality of hair when COVID hit in order to make up for the cost and not having to raise their prices. And like I said, she said it was a hard decision, but she decided she was not willing to do that because that's such an important part of her brand and her pieces, is how the quality of hair that she offers. So instead she upped the price, and that just was something that had to be done to make it feasible. So when you're looking at pricing, just keep that in mind, because personally, and I've represented and reviewed all different brands and all different price ranges. And I always say, like, if you can swing for a luxury piece, a higher end, higher quality hair, do it. Because almost always you're going to get back more for your investment. If you are spending $1,500 on a piece and it lasts you 3 or 4 years, that's such a better investment than paying, half that, $700 maybe for a piece, and it kind of kicking the bucket in 6 months or a year. So if you can swing it, I think it's a wonderful option. I really love this company. Like, I love this piece. It's turned into one of my favorites. And I kind of switch between my silk tops, my mono top that I love. Like, I just love all of them for different reasons. But from all of my silk tops, this is absolutely one of my favorites. And I know it's probably going to last longer than probably any of the others. And when talking about other cons with this piece, I kind of go back to just silk top cons in general. And this is, if you're somebody who's really hot, or you're in a very hot and humid climate, you might want to think a little bit harder about whether you want a silk top, because they are a little hotter. Now, if you're comparing this to like wigs, a hair topper is always going to be a little cooler because it's not covering your entire head and you don't have to pull your hair up, right? So it's going to be cooler than wigs, but hotter than something like a lace top or a mono top, just because the silk isn't breathable. It's just not. That's the trade-off you get to get a realistic part, is you just have to kind of put up with the extra layers of fabric. That's why you don't see the knots, is because it's sewn on in between layers of fabric. So what that does, it creates a little more bulk. So these are a little bulkier, they're a little heavier, and the hair lays pretty flat. It's hard to get volume. So it depends on the style you're going for. Something like the style I have right now works great with silk tops, like long layers. And it doesn't have to be long. You can still get like a bob, but it'll be more of a sleek style. If you want something that has a lot of lift and a lot of volume on top, a silk top's not going to be your best option. This is something I've come across in my consults when it comes to silk tops. I keep this in mind if you're looking into a silk top. If you have a very small and narrow face, silk tops can sometimes feel a little overwhelming, and the hair tends to fall forward into your face, And sometimes that can overwhelm a small, narrow face. There are some things you can do to combat that. One, of course, is customization. You really want to get it thinned through the front. I love having curtain bangs in my silk tops because you can still part it on the side if you want, but having these face framing layers really helps take off the bulk in the front and keep it from overwhelming your face. Another good option if you have a very small and narrow forehead is to get a smaller cap. So again, Lusta is one of the few companies that carries smaller cap sizes regularly, like a 7x7 might be a better option for you than an 8x8. So to wrap this up, I'm gonna say I love this piece and I love this company. You definitely need to be following them because again, they offer so much education and content that helps you feel like you're not alone in this hair loss journey. They do focus on both. They're very educational when it comes to how to wear and style and deal with toppers, but they're also very inspirational when it comes to hair loss. And there's a great community around the company of Lusta Hair. They have their own Facebook group. So follow them for sure. Get a feel for their brand. And if you're in the market for a luxury silk top that's gonna last for a really long time, this is an incredible option. Like my favorite for you, if that's what you're looking for. Thanks for joining me in this video. If you have any questions about Lusta or silk tops or toppers in general, please leave a comment below. Check the description box. I'm gonna link Lusta's website. It's hard, I can't really link this specific piece, but I will link something similar. And you can check through all their colors, find a color that you like, the cap size you think will work for you, and get it customized because that's key. That's always key with toppers. Don't ever think you're gonna pull it out of the bag and it's gonna be perfect because it's usually not. If you want some additional, more personal help, I also offer topper consults. So I'll put that link below in the description box if you're interested and you want to check that out. I would love to help you find a piece that will work for you because again, silk tops are wonderful. They work for a lot of people, but there are some people that they might not work for. So let me help you decide if you're not sure. Thanks again for joining me. Make sure to follow me on all social media because I have lots to say about toppers and hair loss and how to navigate this whole new world. I'll see you next time.